Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on The Moderator, a movie about, well, it stars Irma Lake and Robert Nepper, they sound familiar, but I don't remember them. It's about a woman who avenges women against misogynist and worse. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's what? It's the Pineys, books 1 through 9, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Now, the problem with a movie like this is there is a realistic way to set up this movie and, avenge women, because the UK has a serious problem with gangs of certain kinds of men doing certain things to certain young ladies. If you don't know, Google it. I can't really explain it on YouTube without getting flagged. Anyhow, that, and I've thought about writing a movie about that, would probably make a great movie. Now, maybe this is that movie, and they're trying to mask it a little bit, trying to throw those guys into it, but then throwing other characters in as well, and then just sort of broadly describing it as, well, we're going after people like that and misogynists, which, like, this just seems like some rich D-bag who maybe gets too rough with his date or whatever. I don't know how you would go after him, or would even know. And it seems like he's a jerk too, but one I think sort of deserves death, and the other maybe not quite death, maybe jail or something like that. I mean, it kind of depends on what he does. So, I mean, there is something here, I think, in terms of what is good, what is evil, what is justice, what is revenge, and they're touching upon it. I don't know if they're actually going to do something good here, or if they'll just sort of, skim the edge of the Venn diagram and then pull away and go, well, misogyny is bad, right? Story by Haicham Haji, written by Haicham Haji and Jonathan McConnell, directed by Zor Fasifiri. Okay. Not recognizing any of the cast. Bryce Baxter. No. I almost confused that with Bruce Boxleitner. It's from Saban, so I think it's a low-budget dealie. I think, again, I don't know. So, first act, see, like, these guys, I'm sure their characters are jerks, but I don't think they deserve to be hunted down like dogs necessarily. Maybe they do. I mean, maybe you can make that work. But like a gang of guys doing this for certain reasons, that should be stopped immediately, and there'd be a hell of a lot of justification for it, I think, judging by what I know, what's going on in the UK and other places. So, yeah, it's hard to tell if they're just skimming it and maybe touching on it, but they're too afraid to actually go full bore. So it's almost realistic, and then I see like the D-bag golf guys, and I'm just like, oh, they're going to go like, you don't want to paint it with too broad of a brush, because sexual assault is a serious thing. Misogyny is not necessarily all that serious. I mean, a guy saying, hey, toots, get me a drink, is not a guy who deserves to be shot in the head by an expert assassin. He might be a jerk, but Jesus, I mean, slow your roll, ladies. So, you could see why this was probably greenlit. It sort of fits in with the woke narrative, but at the same time, you could do something about it. Now, I don't know about the fight scenes. These are always, the lead, she is really skinny. She's really hot. I don't know. She's going to beat up this guy who's got like 50 pounds on her. I don't know. It should be she takes him out before he even realizes she's, walked into the room. So, first act, I guess I'm going to say she's probably a survivor. who has decided to do this for, you know, revenge purposes. I did recognize one guy in this, one actor. He was only in it for a split second. I mean, she looks great. She looks like a lead. She's not totally commanding the screen for me, but she looks good. I think you could make this work if you were very clever about the assassinations. And she would have to be. She's thin. She's lightweight. She's probably 90 pounds soaking wet. I mean, a 200-pound guy is going to just bowl her right over. So, and we're talking about guys who are already sexually assaulting women. So, while that does put the whole thing in a higher level of danger, you have to make it realistic enough that she's got many plans here, like many gadgets, to keep these guys from killing her or worse. So, you know, I could think of a few things, but ultimately, not seeing it in this trailer, it's not necessarily a negative. You know, you do have to suspend a certain amount of disbelief, so maybe it's not too bad. Yeah, maybe she beats up a couple of guys, but it's not totally overt or whatever, and she does jump them or whatever. What's going on here? Is there fire in the background? And I definitely could see the motivation working. Sure. So, yeah. So maybe she's a former victim getting her revenge. She's being chased by the cops, apparently. So, a gang of guys, I'm going to say, probably attacks some girls. She's brought in to go after them. One by one, she goes after them. The cops start finding the bodies, start going after her. You know, the main cop doesn't like these tactics. And you could go one of two ways with that, right? Either he eventually reaches the point where he realizes these guys are such scumbags. In the end, he ends up letting her go. Or you go the other way where the big reveal, and this is the lazy way to do it. The big reveal is he's in on it too, and then she has to take him out at the end. I wouldn't go down that route. I think that's cheesy, but it could be. I'm sure there'll be a big fight scene at the end and machine guns and car chases. So, I kind of like the setup. But it would be easy for this movie to overindulge. And that's what I worry about. So, it's called The Moderator. Not sure when it comes out. Don't really have a date on it. No date. So, I would probably say September. Most of the movies dropping now are coming out in September. Probably direct to digital. Maybe a minor release if they're lucky. 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 executive producers, including the star Irma Lake and the director. So that's interesting. They got their hands in the film a little more than normal. And the writer, the co-writer, story by guy is also the producer. Okay. I could see that. Okay, so looks like producer comes up with an idea, comes up with a story, co-writes it with a screenwriter, hires a director who gives him an EP credit to bring him on board. Same thing with the lead, and it's a match, and it gets greenlit, and they go. Okay, I think it'll be okay. I mean, it's hard to tell. Hard to tell from this trailer. It's a little short. It's a minute 45. But I would give it a shot. Yeah, I think it could be decent. It could overindulge, but you'll have to wait for another trailer or see the dang thing to know for sure. And that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan, somewhere in the back room, screaming her little head off. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more bass takes. That's it for us tonight, and we'll see you